Here's the truth about Microsoft's next-gen console lineup. What's up, y'all? I'm back with Mr. Jimmy Champagne. No G. Do not spell his last name with a G. He will fly into a rage.
We're talking about that video. I forgot. It's all linked together.
I brought him back on, a little throwback. We used to do these two-host style videos all the time, but, life's taken us in different directions, but happy to have him back on the channel again to talk the latest Xbox news, specifically to talk the latest rumors revolving around Xbox's next-gen hardware lineup. Now, I would say that the rumors and the speculation really started taking off when they made that announcement, their partnership with AMD, and they confirmed without saying it exactly that the next consoles are going to be more PC-like. They're going to have multiple storefronts. They'll support backwards compatibility, and this next generation lineup will span across consoles, cloud, and handhelds, much like what we're seeing this generation. And then everything just kind of blew up last week. Moore's Law is dead has been going absolutely nutso with these rumors and these leaks, where he was talking about Magnus in the APU that is going to be used, this custom chip made in partnership with AMD. So the big thing that came out of that was that the next Xbox Magnus was going to be like ultra freaking powerful, like double the power, and the performance capabilities will outdo the PlayStation 5 Pro by more than double. So that's why I'm happy to have Jim back on, specifically because there's a lot of comparisons with PlayStation and what they're going to be doing going forward. Jim, is that something that's even possible? I don't want to buy into the hype just yet because, of course, with every new console that comes out, it's always like, oh, it's going to be so powerful. Oh, it's going to be so powerful. High expectations coming into this generation with the Series X. Oh, it's the most powerful console. Is that something that is even achievable, and how would they go about doing that?
Yeah, it's real. It's like an off-the-shelf PC chip, really, that they're kind of, working with AMD to tweak a little bit, but it's going to be expensive, right? It's not going to be in the console range with the performance that's being promised here, and that goes hand in hand with them kind of doing their whole PC thing for the next Xbox. I think everything we get from Xbox going forward is going to be expensive, whether it's the Xbox ROG Ally or whatever this ends up being. It's going to be like boutique PC hardware, and the reason it's so expensive is because it's using UDNA tech, which is RDNA 6, which is 4 generations past what the Series X and PS5 use, and that comes at a cost, right? If you're using a heavy desktop PC level chip inside a desktop PC that's going to run everything, it's going to be expensive because you're going to need to push a lot more hardware, and Windows is terrible. I know everyone's super excited about this Xbox full screen platform thing they're working on, but just turning off some features in Windows is not doing nearly enough to fix the performance issues that operating system has. They need to basically gut it from the ground up. That could be done, but it's not something that they're going to have done by October. So I think it will get slightly better performance than what we're currently seeing now, but whatever's launching in October with the Xbox ROG Ally, I think you're going to see more performance gains just from the raw hardware than you are from, the whole Xbox full screen program thing.
So Xbox is doing a lot of talk about, we're trying to blend the best parts of Xbox and Windows to deliver this new gaming experience, starting, like Jimmy's saying, with the ROG Ally and the full screen experience. Is that something that they can figure out by the time this next gen hardware comes out? It's supposed to be, some people are saying 2026. I'm feeling more like 2027, but I guess it wouldn't make sense for the 25th anniversary to have some new hardware out. Do you think that's achievable? Because this has been a sticking point for you for as long as we've had the channel. Literally, Jimmy was telling Xbox execs to their face, Windows sucks for gaming. The Xbox PC app sucks for gaming. So 4 years on, we've seen some improvements. They're still working on it, but is there a clear path for them to make some serious gains on that by the time this next Xbox comes out, or this PC thing?
So what I understand is that Xbox is getting more access to the Windows team than ever right now. They actually are working together, whereas before Windows would make the Xbox app and it would just they'd put Xbox branding on it, but Windows was the one making everything, which is why it's so deeply integrated into Windows. As far as I'm concerned with the usability of that app, I've been using it a lot more because my racing wheel only works with the Xbox Store version of Forza Horizon 4, which just continues the trend of Microsoft stripping features out of the Steam releases that cost more for no reason. So I love that. It's about the same, I would say. It's a resource hog. It's slow. It doesn't download patches correctly. Sometimes downloads will fail, and then all you have to do is like completely delete the download from your queue. Once a download fails, you can't just resume it. If it pauses because you go into sleep mode, it's like a 50-50 shot at best. It'll actually pick back up where it left off instead of just restarting from zero. I mean, you can use it with a controller now, but it's a resource hog as far as the whole operating system goes. They have a lot of work ahead of them. I think they're off on the right step with this Xbox full screen thing, but it's going to take a lot of work. I think they were really smart and tricky with only showing off Gears Reloaded on it, because that's a game that runs really well on the ROG Ally currently, right? Like Gears Reloaded is a retouched remake. It's not like a new game, and it's a very old game that they've remastered. So I'll wait and see how it runs games like Indiana Jones or Doom the Dark Ages. But yeah, it really depends on what the hardware is. It really depends on how much work they're able to do by October with Windows. They've clearly invested a lot of resources and time and energy into fixing it. So hopefully by the time this Xbox launches, they're able to merge the two operating systems. But for my money right now, I would just go buy an AMD PC with an AMD CPU and GPU, install SteamOS, and call it a day. Like, you could just do what they're gonna take 2 years to do right now, and you could pay less money to do it.
What the f*** I gonna say?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's in a weird way, they're coming full circle, right? Like Xbox was supposed to be the direct Xbox, and then it became something different, a home console that was a little bit more streamlined. And now they're going all the way back, circling around 25 years later and going full PC, it seems. But I think that's a good move for a couple of reasons. Like, as long as we've had the channel, one of the biggest complaints that we've seen from developers and studios is that, they don't want to make an Xbox version of their game because they got to make two versions, one for the Series X, one for the S, and a PC version as well. And also, like that, we've heard some complaints about the install base not being big enough to justify people making an Xbox version of their game. I think transferring over to PC, as long as there's backwards compatibility with people's existing Xbox library, transferring over to PC and just asking developers, hey, don't worry about making a billion different versions if you want to launch on the Xbox platform, just make the PC one. I feel like that's going to be a really good move that helps them in the long run. And it's going to be interesting because I wonder, because their audience is console guys, like that's all we've known. So I'm really curious to see, this PC console hybrid, how it's going to work like in a standard like TV entertainment setup. What's the interface going to be like? Is it going to be like we saw in June with the full screen Xbox experience? Is it going to be closer to the dashboard that we know now? Is it going to be like big picture mode on Steam? So yeah, lots of questions around that, but overall I think it's a pretty exciting move.
So yeah, with the Xbox ROG Ally 2, expecting that to run back compat Xbox games, that's not happening. They're not going to be able to get that figured out by October, which is the rumored release date. Also, they're just going to run into constant issues with that, with licensing, because they are separate SKUs, right? Like, they're going to have to relicense every game they want to add to the back compat service, which they've already done with the 360. It's going to be a nightmare for them to do that. So I think they need to get ahead of that and start getting people ready to, buy an Xbox ROG Ally and not be extremely disappointed when like 60 to 70% of the library they've spent 3 generations building up is unplayable. They did do the Xbox Play Anywhere thing, which was awesome. I mean, it hasn't gotten enough support, I would say, from third parties, but the fact that it's there for the first party Xbox games, if you have bought those, you own a lot of PC games already. But the whole situation with save transferring is a total coin toss. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's totally game by game. Also, The full screen experience is set up exactly like SteamOS, where, you have the full screen experience mode where you have the controller navigatable interface, which is very similar to the Xbox interface. And then if you want to get into the Windows side, it's probably going to require a restart. It's not like big picture mode where it's just running on top. They're like separate instances. That's how it works on the Steam Deck as well, or a SteamOS PC. You boot into game mode, which is like big picture mode as an operating system, but you can switch into desktop mode, which essentially reboots the thing and you can switch back and forth. I'd imagine that's what they're doing with this, or they'll just lock it down and say you get a lighter version of the desktop and you can kind of minimize the full screen experience or open it as a separate app, and they'll kind of lock some stuff down. Another thing I think they're going to have to really work hard on is every game that comes out on these Xbox PCs going forward, especially if they're made by Microsoft, they're going to have to figure out the best settings and have it launch for the first time from the Xbox app at those settings, because I feel like that's going to be a huge barrier for console people coming over. Is like, it's going to read your hardware and try to determine the best settings for any game, but it's so wrong. It'll look at the GPU and kind of try to nail it down. I would guess it'll set itself to ultra or high. If you want to lock 60, you're going to have to lower settings, especially if this is an APU and not using a dedicated GPU on top of that. So there's a lot of stuff they're going to have to figure out, and it seems like they're kind of rushing into it. So if you want to be an early adopter of this stuff and beta test it as it goes along, get the Xbox ROG Ally 2, because that experience is going to be Xbox ROG Ally 2. I don't even know what it's called. What's it called? ROG Ally Xbox? ROG Xbox Ally?
This is a good question, because just like
I'm not even doing a bit, dude.
Every Xbox product has got to have slightly confusing names. There is the Xbox Ally, which is the white one, and then there's the Xbox Ally
That's not the
X.
Xbox. Oh yeah. And then there's the ROG Ally and the ROG Ally X, and those were marketed by Microsoft as Xbox adjacent devices, and they don't get the full screen experience at launch, which is ridiculous. It should be across all allies, all of these terribly named devices.
I will say, trying to be as objective as possible, I really was impressed. I didn't get to go handle it. What am I talking about? I didn't get to go hands-on with it for long. I didn't get to like really fondle it, get in there, but I did enjoy what I saw of this.
Yeah.
Now, is it
because it's like the third iteration of it,
Yeah,
they have refined it, which is good.
I thought it was cool. It was a lot cooler in person than it was on paper. So I'm excited to see where it goes.
Do you remember when it leaked and it looked like that guy dipped it in Vaseline before he filmed it?
But going back to what Jim said earlier about, if you want a console, you download a game and you just play it, and you can kind of tweak it in the settings. Maybe there's a performance mode, maybe there's a ray tracing mode, but not to the point where you have to really get in there and like optimize like you do on PC. They kind of have the baby version of that on console with smart delivery, like, oh, I'm detecting that you're playing on 1S or instead of a Series S, and here's the best version of the game for you. So I wonder if they're able to do something similar. Yeah, again, make it as easy as possible for these console guys. I think it's cool that they're going the PC route because it's flexible. You can there's possibilities for mods and stuff. There's a higher ceiling in terms of performance. But yeah, they got to make it as straightforward and as easy as possible. And I want to get your opinion, Jim, about this other rumor that Moore's Law is dead was circulating and diving into. The fact that there's going to be at least, that we know of right now, 4 different Xbox pre-built PC things. Xbox Magnus APU to power multiple systems, not only the main console. Microsoft's next-gen Xbox will be a new design approach with the introduction of Magnus, blah, 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 a chip to power an entire family of devices rather than a single flagship console. Leaks and analysis shared by Digital Foundry have revealed that Magnus splits compute and graphics into separate dies linked over a high bandwidth 384-bit fabric.
Oh, so it's just, there's going to be no discrete graphics one. So I don't know what they're really doing, man. Like, I could see it like, you have a lower power handheld and then a higher power handheld and then a lower powered console box and then a higher powered console box. But 4 seems like a lot. I don't know. Like, I don't know how you would really do that. And if they are trying to split the GPU and CPU, I guess you could still use a discrete graphics card and then just like use the CPU side of the chip. Like that's what the ROG Ally does. If you get the XT Mobile eGPU, you plug it into that huge connector at the top, and then it uses the Z1 Extreme in the Ally as the CPU, and then the GPU is external. So you can do it. It seems like we just gotta wait for an announcement because that's a little confusing, but it seems cool.
Yeah, and in his notes, he says that these are just the 4 that I know about.
So that probably means they're working with other vendors. Like, you know, there's going to be a Lenovo version, an Asus version. But if they all use the same chip that they developed with AMD, that could be a unifying thing that they can put the Xbox branding on it. Like, so it reminds me, I don't know if you remember this because you're newer to PC gaming, but when the SteamOS we have now that's in the Steam Deck is SteamOS 3. SteamOS 2 was the first one that released to the public. And they did the same thing, like where Alienware had a Steam machine that, you know, ran whatever parts the Alienware wanted to put in it. But the operating system was the SteamOS version of Linux. And there were supposed to be a bunch of them, right? Like, you know, HP could make one, or whoever was around back in the day could make their own. But the unifying factor would be SteamOS. It seems like that's what Microsoft's doing going forward. It didn't work for Valve. So it's working now though. It's working now. We've got the Legion Go S with SteamOS. It's running laps around Windows, works great. You can put SteamOS on your Legion Go, your ROG Ally. So what I would do if you're an Xbox fan and you want to stick with Xbox is build a cheaper PC or buy a cheaper gaming laptop. Like maybe look at Facebook Marketplace or something and start familiarizing yourself with Windows and the Xbox app, because I mean, like, it gets crazy. Like, if you want to play an EA game, like Battlefield, for example. Well, that's a bad example. If you want to play an EA game like Need for Speed Unbound, you can't just download it through the Xbox app and play it. You got to download it through the Xbox app, which then installs the EA Origin launcher. You've got to make an EA account. You got to log into the EA account. You got to make sure that's all set up. Same goes for Ubisoft. If you bought Assassin's Creed Shadows on the Xbox app, you also have to download the Ubisoft launcher, right? Like, you got to learn all this stuff, because I mean, if you just jump right in day one and you've never messed with a PC, I could see you turning around and driving to Best Buy at 10 a.m. when they open the next day and just returning it, because it is a learning curve. It's not as plug and play or simple as a console.
I don't know what the insistence is for all these different publishers to have their own launcher. Epic, Ubisoft, EA, Blizzard, Battle.net. Yeah, I'm like, god damn. Like, I don't know what it is about having your own launcher, but yeah, that's definitely something that you got to prep for.
Maybe like all the Xbox people coming over to PC will finally give us enough people to kill the Epic Game Store. Once you guys all come over and realize how god awful that store is, it'll be cool, because you know you're not going to be able to get Fortnite through the Xbox app. You're going to have to download the Epic Games launcher, make an account, and then download Fortnite through that, because it's exclusive to the Epic Game Store.
Epic Game Store is the only storefront that has been name dropped specifically in this whole process. Everyone's throwing around, oh, Steam, but never has Xbox or Microsoft said anything about Steam. The only thing that we've heard about other storefronts is Phil Spencer, when he specifically mentioned, he was like, yeah, other storefronts like the Epic Game Store. So I'm like, no one wants that, bro. Like, no one's thinking that.
On getting one of these Xbox PCs, if you have a computer, whether it's a Mac or a laptop or whatever with Windows, download the Epic Game Store right now and just check it every week, because they give away free games all the time. Like, you add them, yeah, just start adding them to your account. Like, I think it's on a weekly basis, and they are pretty decent games. So like, if you want to start your PC library with a third-party store that's confirmed, I would just start doing that. I mean, I think you can even do it on your phone. So like, just make an Epic account, which you probably already have if you play Fortnite, and just start adding those free games to your account so you have access to them day one.
Anyways, guys, that's all the Xbox stuff we have to talk about today. Thanks again so much for joining us for another edition of Xbox Ready. Big shout out to Jim Champagne, no G. Remember that, because again, he's going to fly into a rage if you go photo and spell his name wrong. Thanks again for watching.
Did you like explain that? Did you explain what happened at all?
About like the articles and stuff? No.
So when I was on Moore's Law is Dead's podcast, notebookcheck.com wrote up the Magnus chip and got everything wrong. Like the entire article is wrong. My name is spelled wrong with a G. There is no G. And then, you know, these journalists who are at Kotaku and all these other websites, they just used that notebook check article to write their article. So it just spread across. So not only was my name spelled wrong, which is, you know, the gravest sin in all of this, all of the info about the Magnus chip was wrong. They were saying it's for the PS5 handheld, the PS6. They were saying it might be for the Steam Deck 2. And if you listen to the podcast, it's 100% speculation. Like the leading topic was, what do we want from the Steam Deck 2? And they just connected that to the Magnus chip. So like, Notebook Check screwed up, but like everyone screwed up by not doing their due diligence. So that's why it's just annoying, because my Twitter bio is there is no G in my last name. The pinned tweet on the Deck Ready Twitter is there is no G in my last name. Like it could be not more clear that there is no G. And they're like, oh, I'm at Kotaku, one of the biggest gaming sites around. Let me just spell it wrong. And I DM the writer who literally has in their bio, DM for questions. They didn't answer, and it's still wrong.
Yeah, these so-called journalists thinking that they're better than us blue-collar YouTubers. Yeah, right. Anyways, peace out, y'all. Thanks again for watching.